I saw that.
That's another bad thing.
What is such a thing? Instead of saying here.
Yes, you should have back checked. Yeah, I did, I found that out after I told you, but I didn't check it. Yeah. Yes, it probably should.
That's right. This is just our version of that, right?
No, if you go down, it tells what the county pays, it is the 675 out of the 22. That's what was not present in that agreement, and that's what that's.
All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Good. Roll call, please.
Showalter,
Here.
Howard,
Here.
Redmond,
Here.
Myers,
Here.
Thompson.
Here. You got any call your meeting in order?
Sherman County Commissioners come to order. Mr. Blake and Everett are here. Enfield is not right.
We're not gonna call the meeting to order, we don't have, we once again lack a quorum, at least we're consistent, I guess. So, no, she has our, probably, so we're good.
Okay. Well, you guys are joining me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, well, welcome everybody to this meeting of the Ways and Means of the County. We'll get together with everybody again. We don't have a whole lot on the agenda for today. We've got a few things, the sales tax ballot question and the animal control contract. So with that, let's start with the sales tax question. And I think we all have a copy of it in front of us. I don't know if everybody has had a chance to look through it and read through it. I have not. That's, yes. I had a chance to look through it. Anybody has any questions or concerns regarding the wording? If everything is accounted for, that we have previously agreed upon.
I think it leaves a little open on where it says, with respects to the city of Goodland, A Street, and if unavailable, Caldwell Avenue, got a lot of room there if the funds are available to allow you, to go, I don't know, get 2 blocks, you might get 10.
And I think when we had kind of figured out the estimated cost of ways to door when we first started this, it looked like the majority, if not all, of the funds is probably going to be eaten up by the 8th Street project. We're hoping that if there's any left over, we can continue around on Caldwell. But the majority, for sure, was going to be going towards 8th Street.
Your hope is to go from Cattle Trail all the way
To
to
Caldwell.
Caldwell.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were gonna talk about doing the alley behind the courthouse and the sheriff's department parking lot, right? I think we should do that.
Or this
Funds
to
are
allow,
available.
or this to allow for other funds to be used, to make it
Yeah.
further. Whatever you want to do.
Well, it's not a big deal to add it, then.
Yeah, between 8 and 9. Parking lot. South side is.
That's the only thing I see.
On Road 5,
Different.
you have
Yeah.
from 65 to 66, are you meaning from 64 to 65, where the pavement is? That's okay.
the 64 and 65 for that section. I just didn't know if you got your mile off mixed up. That's right.
Just for clarification and reading, maybe this is a question for the county attorney, maybe, but as far as the wording goes, this does not tie in specifically to bonds for the projects on here, right? This is strictly for the 1% percentage for like the ones that are entities that the BOCC will decide if there's to then money saved and use it, or against it, or previous one was all bonded against.
What was the tail end of that?
But I know the previous one, everything was bonded at the time of the agreement, the bonds for the projects that were gonna happen. But this, wording of this agreement is, it's just for the sales tax percentage for each entity, and then each entity will decide how they wish to proceed with the fund, whether they wish to save up for the project, or to bond it ahead and do it all ahead.
Yes.
I know we have Sheriff also here. I don't know if you wanted to, if you had something you wanted to speak to
Yes, you allow me to.
towards the 1 cent in particular.
I'd like to talk to you about a community project that I think is pretty important for our children. I've been kind of working with the schools, trying to get them to be safer. Let's stand over here if you don't mind. But West School, we've been kind of looking at that. 2 years ago, I helped introduce the cone zone there, and that's been working pretty good. But the problem is with the remodel, it created quite a bottleneck. Why don't you the current traffic, we have the cone zone set up at the front. There. Set up here, drop off kids, but the problem is with pickup now. With the remodel, they made this in one way, and all the people come out, the people park here, and they have to go around, come back out. And that created quite a bad scenario when all this traffic is dumping out where buses are picking up, dropping off, and also the people park out there. And what I did is I shot a little video, just kind of bring a realization to that. Give me a couple minutes of your time. This thing kind of brings it to life. I wish I would have filmed it the other way.
Starting to unload.
This is the parking lot on the east side.
They'll go out
This is
here
the roundabout.
instead of turning right where they could go out, come out this way. As you can see, still a lot of kids to be picked up.
This is about 5 minutes into the
They
day.
have come out here.
About half the people left. And they're
Along with
still.
all the other traffic. As people are picking up and stopping in the middle of the street, they pick up their kids and they join the traffic coming out. See, people backing out, and people trying to go left and right. nice, the teachers don't let the kids come out unless their parents are here. Have to be picked up by their parents. So, for that part. All this traffic has to dump out here where kids are getting on the bus. People are crossing the street, picking up their kids parked over there. Maybe this is where the buses dump. So, all of the kids come out here. Again, there's a lot of traffic coming out here. They have to walk,
You see the
cross.
parents grabbing their kids across.
There we
Constant,
go.
I mean, they have to start
People
to
cross the
cross
street. People want to turn in. Turn across the street, going across. We do have a deputy. We try to have a deputy here every day. Try to instruct them about how you're supposed to stop when they have it out.
She got caught between the buses,
Do
they
a lot
put
of
them out.
training there.
She was running for something. They were-
Zoom here, I didn't realize how bad it was. So I actually watched the traffic coming out that door. Stop signs here, for the buses. Turn right or go straight.
East side.
People could pick up. Possibly. They don't have to contend with one direction. If someone picks up here, that would come down here, go around the roundabout, come back. Same, because
So basically, what I'm proposing is, we could open up 11th Street, Texas. Bill said I talked to the school board last week, and they proposed it a couple of times, trying to do that. I don't think they talked to the commissioner, maybe the city manager prior. But Bill said he's talked to him a couple of times about doing something. But I see it as a county and city project that we can protect our children, because if we can eliminate that, having to drive back out and all this traffic going out, the traffic here would be, not 1/3 the amount of traffic in there. Bill says it gets better as the year goes on, because parents learn how it works and all that stuff. But I've watched it, and it actually gets worse in other aspects, because people get complacent. They do it, they walk out, they don't look, and that's the problem. That's why I have my deputies around this school at the evening, pretty heavy, because it's such little kids. They need to get worked out. I like the way the school dismissed, and, they don't let them out unless they, parents are there, which is really good. But I think this here, we could make this a one-way street. If we don't wanna mess with that, just make this a one-way, just cut that open and make it, for now, make it a dirt road. And later on, when we get funding, one thing we could apply for is the Kid Safe Routes grant. Yeah, I think that's right.
We changed it slightly, so I'm gonna say the wrong.
Yeah, I remember saying it.
Safe routes to schools is what I do.
Right. But I think this here would be, an awesome project for the 1% if we could get the grant to do that. Maybe the county could help gravel or something like that, make it into gravel road, but open it, eliminating, the process, or problem right away. I said, it gets better as the year goes on, the kids, parents learn the routine, but then places gets, people are driving through there, not really paying attention. And also, the parents are dragging their kids through this. I think it'd be an awesome project for the community, you know, protect the youngest, kindergarten all the way through second grade.
I guess I have a couple of questions. I don't have any young kids, so I'm not familiar with how things are run there. But it kind of looks like, as of now, you have people turning in from 12th Street around in there, and then also people coming in.
And I can't remember, I wish Bill was here. I believe kindergarten picks up here. I believe first grade is here, and second grade is here. I think that's the way they have it set up. So the first grade parents are long. Some do, some don't. After they go through this rat race trying to get out, they usually stop. So they're parking in that parking lot goes way down. That means they're parking out on the street, more people parking out in this area. I mean, these lines get longer out there. That's true.
So is that on the backside there? Is that pretty much teacher parking during the day?
Right. And Bill and I kind of talked about that. Maybe moving the teachers parking over here is for people all in park, and then making it one way. The one thing he brought up was kind of a neat idea. If we don't want to change this portion, just make this a one way. He would maybe put a gate right here that drops down. That makes people go out. It turned into very little limited two-way street.
See, I think years ago, that street up there with the roundabout was buses only.
Right.
That's where the bus loading and unloading was, and they had to use the roundabout to leave. And it changed. Of course, they didn't have a road through that spot of the lagoon, because there was a ball field over there.
Right. There used to be a trail like a tree there, you know, but then they put up the barricades for people to the trail. They go through the trail and jump off the curb. But I think it'd be a good project to look at in the city, county, working together, see if we can get something done.
My thoughts are, it does look like something that should probably look into. Definitely there's some opportunities. As far as one set sales tax, we're kind of at the end of the discussion, where we need to come to a
I realize that,
decision.
but I
to get
thought,
on the
well,
ballot.
if I don't say something, I don't.
But,
I'll give my full 2 cents.
So, I don't know, of course, it's open, everybody has thought, I don't know whether this is the appropriate avenue for that, just of where we are in the process with this. We've all kind of
So,
figured out of
question about that process.
Yeah.
So basically, you're gonna have all the projects lined out, every one of them? Or is it gonna be,
It's gonna be spread out and how much, what the cost of things are. You know, the city's got a big project with the A Street, but the county, depending on how the process of the roads holds up, is whether or not we're going to look at doing an overlay or continuing with chip seal.
I think within the resolution, and I think the ballot section, it has listed in there all the various things that the money could go towards. Not exactly specific projects, but if projects are done, what section of the roads it will go to. A lot of it is going to depend on, you know, the cost of things.
I just haven't been following it that close, but then I realized you were getting close to us.
Basically, the county has, you know, all of their various state roads and stuff that they're looking at. We have a couple bigger projects, maybe 8th Street, is kind of our biggest project, and then Kanarado has a couple of projects they're looking.
I heard it discussed that in the meeting, but, hopefully we can look at it and see what we do down the road. I'd like to see if we could just open it up as a dirt road. I think people do.
Would it also be helpful at the northwest corner of that, to make that, at where the red arrows are basically pointing at the northwest corner there at 11th and Y, is that Wyoming?
Yeah.
Make that a right turn only, so that that traffic doesn't block anything in Wyoming, and then they have to make a left.
I mean,
or
coming
right
out
on.
this way,
Yeah.
I mean, they go straight or turn, because once the bus is there, they put the stop sign down. And we really work hard with the bus drivers to make sure they're.
Sure. I was just thinking all the flow goes so they don't stop anything on Wyoming.
Right.
So,
I mean, traffic flow is hard.
Yeah, you know, just visually, again, you know, I've never dealt with this for a long time, it's not that deep down low. But just visually looking at that, again, two different directions coming into the same cul-de-sac.
Right.
I mean, I think it's gonna be hard. No matter
Then
what
they
you
all
do,
have to
even
go-
add an additional road out of there,
Right.
you're still gonna have that meet up there.
I think, honestly, if you make it all go out here to put a stop sign, these guys can go freely. I go that way. Then they have to.
My opinion would be to come to the east of the school, come up where the cul-de-sac is, make between that street and Wyoming a one-way street to the west, and put a right-hand turn only sign there.
I mean, like,
No, not using that one over there, just come up from the south, on the east side of the school, and make that a left-hand turn, one way only.
Basically prevent the traffic flow coming in.
Basically, it goes this
from-
way.
And make a right turn only onto Wyoming.
That would be just changing the traffic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that would be better than what we have. Like, so they don't have to do it right here. We make it this one way. But I thought minimum, if we could just put in a dirt road, one lane, make it one lane. People get in and out of there. It'd be a lot.
just looking,
Yeah, if you wanna maybe come in on our next regular city meeting, this is probably a discussion more for the city council than,
Okay,
at least for starters.
I'll talk with Bill some more.
So then we
Kind
can
of talk with the schools and see what.
delve a little deeper into conversations about what possible options would be, right? You know,
Sounds good.
but,
Thank you.
right, thank you. Does anybody have any more questions or concerns with the writing and the proposed and the way things are presented?
is there anything we should be, make sure that there's some, little thing about something we're just saying, please. And the funds available, call
I can't hear you, Ken, I'm sorry.
them. Well, I was intending that.
You don't want to record it? Kent, speak up, please.
Do we want to add, are we confident in the language that says for the city of Goodland, a street, and if funds available, call them? There's no alternative to that. There's no, we're being real direct to the voters, saying just a street, just call them. But
Depending on the amount, maybe it's
depending on the amount, or, you know, just like what the sheriff brought up, if there's something else that comes up during the time period of 20 years, you guys aren't gonna be in the council. So, maybe. But,
Well, didn't we talk about adding the rest of 17 to it at one point,
yeah.
and finishing that out in concrete?
Yeah. I mean, right now, it would limit us, and I know that the county has discussed that as well, so they want to be real exact on the projects they identify. But you also want to make sure if some emergency comes up, that you can address it if you.
Right, because you can always push a project back to address something that comes up.
Right. And just to have some sort of
words there that say,
Would it be something like if with fund availability for emergency situations, these funds can be used for those said projects as an unanticipated.
The bottom turn is a good phrase.
And even if you just take this last line of Kanarado, and
Right,
then just add, and all streets and roadways of the city as needed,
right.
after,
After
at the end of yours.
after address. Was that too much?
Well, I guess my concern with the change, what timeline I'm looking at as far as making changes, having the bond attorney write valid question, everything that needs to happen. Change it, and still get things done in time for it to be on the ballot.
I need it in about a week and a half. Eleven.
I think that would be, because I understand what we're all trying to do is cover our basis of, like you said, most of us aren't going to be here in 20 years to figure out what else is going to happen. Or great flood comes and washes something out, or we need to have some flexibility in the issue, but at the same time, I don't see it as a problem to put some flexibility in there, because you've already stated that you want to do A Street and Caldwell, and, if funds come available, you can do other things, but at the same time, if you get half of A Street done, what your projected project is, and the need comes up for something else, of streets, allow that to work into.
Same time, I also kind of feel that the taxpayers that will be voting on it probably be happier to know that, when you say that we projects, it's kind of rough that the commission deems is more important, but maybe the citizens as a whole doesn't feel as important. I feel like that's kind of a conflict there that would have to be addressed. People are voting with the idea that as they read this, this is what their funds are going to go to. And once get relieved, if there's additional funds available after the project and stuff, I think that's good. But as far as wording it so that if a different project comes up that you deem more important than the one we have on here, but we diverge that, I'm not necessarily a fan of that. It's good, this is, it also gives you too much leeway to kind of use funding however you ever see the commission 10 years down the line, all of a sudden decides that, there's a section of road over on Clark Street between 14th and 16th, a dire need they want to use its fund for. People over in that area probably are very happy about it, but then everybody else in the city is not, because they expect these funds to be used for A Street, which is the main way. So I'd be okay with wording saying, if there's additional monies after these projects are completed, that can go towards other infrastructure roadway projects. I would be okay with that, but any kind of wording that would allow to divert from these projects. Agreed. Any other thoughts? So we're gonna try to adjust the wording then on that for, to add additional projects after.
Additional projects, if funding
If
is
something is
available.
available. And as far as, so, in order to finish this up, is that each commission at their own meeting will then have to approve the resolution move forward, or did it, what do we mean?
I think it's just a county resolution.
It's just the county.
But we just have to get consensus of our approval of the wording for you guys, and then vote on it, vote on the ballot. And that needs to be done in the next week and a half, is it?
At the latest, yeah. When's your next meeting?
A week from tomorrow.
When do you have to have that by? A week and a half? Next Friday. Next Wednesday.
What we can do at the next regular meeting is have a resolution in support
Okay.
of the county placing it on the ballot. Would that be appropriate?
We do the same, Carrie.
Last chance, any other thoughts, discussions regarding? Thank you, everybody. I think we all kind of worked through this pretty seamlessly, but I'm proud of where we got all the together. Hopefully the citizens of the county will be. Okay, the next thing on the discussion item is the animal control contract, specific contract that is an interlocal contract for the city and the county with Kathy Sherman to provide pound services, basically. She approached me about 3 months ago, maybe, said she would like us to take a look at it to see if there's any way she could get an increase in her payments. You said this agreement was first done in 2010, and it hasn't changed since then. She said that her cost of utilities have gone up, that her cost of food, stuff that she provides, plus condos, has gone up. Basically, expenses have gone up in the last 12 years for her providing these services. I did talk to her some yesterday. I invited her to come tonight. I think she did come, but she knows Kathy. She's not much of a public speech person, but she did kind of tell me what she would like, is hoping for. Currently in the contract, it's $27,000 a year, and she's being paid out of this contract. You know, this is to house the animals, provide personnel to watch the animals, the food and water for the animals, and utilities provided for the animals out of their place. And that breaks down to $22.50 a month. Of that, and that's not in contract, but it was a separate ordinance that was done, City Ordinance 1607, the county pays 30% of that 2250, which is 670. The city pays the majority of it because the city is using the majority of the services. There's way more work in the city than there is in the county as far as the issue. She is hoping to maybe bump that up to 36,000 annually, which would be 3,000 a month. So it would be an increase of $9,000 annually of the current contract. If we kept it at the same 30% that the county is paying, that would be $900 for you guys, up from the $675 that you're currently paying. And that's kind of the bulk of what she was hoping for. You know, she enjoys what she does, she's happy to provide services. This, expenses are getting tighter, and it's been a long time since this has been looked at. We're just hoping we would look over it and consider an increase for it.
We probably should have been doing some incremental increases throughout the years, every couple of years or so, look at it.
And she did point out when we talked, that it does say somewhere in here that this is supposed to be looked at annually, I believe.
Yeah, continuation annually, review shall take place before July 31st, the next term.
And I don't think she has ever come up on an annual basis and requested anymore. I think this is the first time that she's come up and requested for an increase in contract since it started. I told her I would happily bring it to our next joint meeting that we had, and discuss it with everybody, see what everybody's thoughts were. So I will open it up to any other thoughts that anybody has.
I get it, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, and I don't think it's an unreasonable amount.
She's having to travel somewhere for vet services now because we don't have a veterinarian in her.
She is, but those costs are covered in another contract.
Right.
She has multiple contracts. This is kind of the town contract. She does have individual contracts with the city, county, and the city of Kanarado regarding going out and picking up animals and vet. She's got to pick up some of their vet services. So her costs for those are covered in those other contracts. This is pretty much strictly just the housing of what she does. I know as far as the city side for the other services that she does, we pay $18,000 a year currently for her actual services to go out and provide animal control. She said, I don't know what yours is, she said, knows that yours is considerably less than that, but then she also does considerably less out in the county. And that she did recently. So yeah, all those type of costs and stuff will be addressed in the other contracts.
We would have to just take it to her. Increase our working contract with the city.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Yeah, something that we'll discuss in the meeting, and we can discuss more amongst ourselves in our next meeting, and something that everybody agrees on, we can
Let the consensus be known.
move forward with changes. Yep, if you guys are still, like I said, the city ordinance, I think, has a specific dollar amount that you guys are paying, so if that were to be adjusted, we'd have to do ordinance. As far as that goes, you guys would be happy, so 30%, or even if that adjusted in some way, you would have to do that ordinance separate from this one.
We will discuss it.
Okay, well, anybody have anything else they wish to discuss this evening? Okay. In that case, you guys want to
Motion?
So move.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to adjourn for the city. Second. Second by Commissioner Howard, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, thank you, everybody.